guys to know that Loretha Simon is here to share her testimony at the Moms Empowerment, Moms in Ministry workshop. It has been a wonderful day, and then it got better because you walked in the door.
Yes.
So,
with a float on.
Yes, with a float. With a float. You were a lifesaver this morning. So, Loretha, tell us about your son and what it was like raising him. I know you weren't all alone because you had family support, but you were a single parent, and so tell us about that.
Okay, well, I'd love to share that with you and with you all. Thank you so much for coming. My son's name is Marquis Vincent Duncan. He was born November 9th, 1981 at 7:47 a.m. And the reason I remember that so well is because my aunt took me to the hospital about 4:30 that morning, and then after she came in and made sure I was okay, I insisted that she go back home to get some rest. So when I brought my son into the world, I was all alone. It was just me and Jesus and my doctors. And I insisted on having natural childbirth because my mother had natural childbirth with all 5 of her children. And you know how mothers are.
You can do it.
Oh, you can do it.
You can do it.
Oh, you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. So I was determined that I was going to do it. So while I was in there, my doctors insisted on trying to convince me to take some medication or to take an epidural, but I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to be drugged, and I had prepared myself for it. I had taken my Lamaze class. I was ready. And I was not afraid to go through the experience by myself because my son's father and I had already decided that he was going to pay me the child support, but he was not going to be available. He was just not going to be, he wasn't ready to be a parent. And I wanted my little blessing, so it was just a wonderful thing. I had the baby, called my mother on the phone. She told me I did great and she'd be out there sometime later. So it was just a wonderful thing. So, you know, what you don't realize when you have that little child is that you have to raise that little child. So the next thing I know, this little baby just is a bundle of joy, and he just keeps growing and growing and growing. So then I had to try to decide what was important and what would be the best thing for him in order to help him mature. Now, what I wanted to share with you was you don't really have any control over who your parents are. You don't have any idea who your parents are going to be. My parents were Albertha and Richard Quarterman. And this is a picture of my mother. You may not be able to see it, but in this picture, she's 17. She has been raised very well. Her parents took very good care of her. She was very spoiled. She's walking around right now in a satin robe, and she's got her hair all done, and her nails are polished, and she's wearing satin slippers. I never got to do any of that. Okay, this next beautiful picture is my Aunt Loretha, and she was spoiled as well. She was very educated. She went to college, and then she went on to get her master's degree. Okay, and then this is me up at the top. I went to high school, and then after high school, I decided I didn't really want to go to college. I just could not figure out what the benefit was for me. So, I didn't go. However, when this little bundle of joy came along, this is Marquis, and these are his graduation pictures. When this little bundle of joy came along, I changed my mind about college. I decided my son needed a future, and in order for him to be successful, I needed a game plan. So, my game plan was, the first game plan I had was I couldn't do it alone. I needed some help, and so I needed to join the church. Now, I was already in a church, and as far as I was concerned, I was happy in the church. However, some things started happening, and the church sort of started making some changes, and the next thing I knew, the church had separated. The one pastor went this way, and then the other pastor that came along went in a different direction. So I had a baby, so I had a decision to make as to where I was going to go. So I decided to go to the right, and I took my son with me to the right. So we started our membership with New Covenant Baptist Church of Orlando. My son and I both became members, and so we grew up in the church. We went to Sunday school, we participated in all of the activities, and it was just a wonderful support system for me and Marcus. Marcus wanted to be baptized. I had already been baptized, but in order for us to be able to do it together, I got baptized again. So, now at this time, Marcus is growing up, he's growing up, he's learning how to read, he's learning how to talk, and it just became a big deal for us to learn new words. And at that time, when he was in preschool, he was very fascinated with cars. Well, cars have very elaborate names like Lamborghini and what's the name of one? Corvette, Rolls Royce. So it just became a little game with us for him to learn how to spell these words for these cars. So that turned out to be just a great learning experience for him. So we went from there, and then when he got to be in elementary school, we were always looking for different things for him to participate in. So we were living in the Paramore neighborhood, and the Paramore neighborhood in Orlando was in transition at the time. This is a picture of my great aunt. Her name is Augusta Rogers, and this beautiful home that she owned was a home that Marcus and I were able to live in for many years. And during that time, Paramore was in transition because when my aunt lived in this lovely neighborhood, it was back in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s. It was lush. It was beautiful. It was an upscale, middle-class neighborhood. It was lovely. But by the time Marcus and I got there, it was a little downtrodden. So Orlando officials decided that they were going to rededicate Paramore. So one day, we just happened to be going to the rededication of the Paramore area. And so my son Marcus, of course, is in this picture. He's 5 years old. And I'm an opportunist. I am always looking for an opportunity for my son. So it just happened to be a perfect day for an opportunity. And the mayor of Orlando, his name was Bill Frederick, just happened to be downtown. And so I just knew they were going to want a photo op. So Marcus, by this time, was very accustomed to having his picture taken. So I said, Marcus, guess who's here? He said, who, Mommy? I said, the mayor, Bill Frederick. I think he'd love to take a picture with me. And he went right over and had his picture taken. And as you can tell, it was in the Orlando Sentinel. Yay! Okay, so now we're on our way to stardom. So the next big event for Marcus was they had a contest at Callahan Elementary School. And it was a contest to just crown a king and a queen. However, the king and the queen had to be, preschool. So Marcus was of preschool age, so I dressed him up in a nice little tuxedo, and I got my girlfriend, Vernice, to bring her daughter along because her daughter was a little princess, and we presented them both as little Mr. Callahan and little Miss Callahan.
Oh.
And needless to say, they were both very well spoken, and they had their speeches prepared because we had written their speeches. So, needless to say, they won that event as well. Yay!
All right.
Want to learn how to pray effectively?
Discover for yourself a strategy for establishing the promises of God in your life. Charlene Thomas is a published author, inspirational speaker, and professional editor, but above all, she is a trained intercessor. As the founder of Sword of the Spirit Ministries, Charlene has created Take Up Thy Sword, a monthly newsletter with hope and encouragement from the Bible. This newsletter led to the devotional and journals entitled Prayer plus Encouragement equals Power. In 2013, Charlene was named Author of the Year at the Orlando Newsom Awards, and she has written 3 books thus far in an ongoing series of prayer guides. Her newest release, I See What You're Saying, follows When Heaven Hears Your Prayer and How Great Is Your Faith. You can find all of these anointed products and much more at takeupthysword.com and other online retailers such as Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. If you need help with resumes, proofreading, or book publishing, these services are also available via Spirit of Excellence Writing and Editing. Contact Charlene directly at 321-209-2309 with any questions or comments. That's 321-209-2309.
Remember, God heard your prayer. Now you need to learn how to get the answer.
So it was just a joy. I was enjoying motherhood. My son was having a ball. It was just a wonderful thing. So the next big thing, of course, was now he's in elementary school. So now it's important for him to understand the quality of education, and that you have to excel. You're going to have to make friends. You know, it's important for you to bring A's home because Mommy wants you to get all A's in everything. So we started working on that, and it turned out so well. It turned out so well. Did I say it turned out so well?
Well,
it turned out so well that Mark was very popular. He was just very popular because he was handsome, he was social. His mother was in the PTA, so we were always involved in everything that went on at that school.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that parents need to be involved?
Yeah. Parents, listen up. You have got to be involved in your child's life.
Wow.
The Bible says to raise them up. You have to raise them up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you raise them up in the right way with Jesus, you can't go wrong.
You got to raise them up. You can't wait for the TV or the video game
or
the school to raise them up.
Absolutely not. You have to spend time with your child. That's the only way you're going to get to know that kid. And
spend time with them. Can't I just drop them off at the church?
No, you can't drop them off. As a matter of fact, speaking of dropping them off, this is one of the reasons why I insisted on taking my son to church. Mm-hmm. Because I had a mother and a father. Mm-hmm. And I feel so sorry that my son wasn't able to be raised with his father, but it just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. So I could not just lay down and cry over that. I got to go home. Mm-hmm. I still got to raise this kid. Mm-hmm. So I decided that we needed to go to church together. Mm-hmm. My parents sent us to church. I went to church every week. 2-3 times a week I went to church, and every Sunday. But my parents never took us to church. So I was determined that I was going to take my son to church. And that's exactly what I did. And it turned out to be a wonderful thing. As a matter of fact, as a result of that early training, my son is off on his own now. He's completely independent. You know, I don't have to call him to ask him to go to church. He just goes. Wow. He pays his tithes. I looked up one day and he was volunteering to go on a missionary trip. Wow. I was shocked.
Wow.
Until he asked for some money. Mom, we need some money to go on this missionary trip. But how could I say no? I called for the money.
Oh.
So no, it's a wonderful thing. You have to be involved. I was involved in every aspect of my son's education. I was just a leader. And it did help that I was from a very educated family. But it's just so funny when I look back on it because all of my relatives went to college, but I didn't go. Mm. But that was no reason for me not to want what was best for my son. Mm-hmm. Because once I realized that where I would have been had I gone, that's when I made the decision for him that no matter what, he had to go. Yeah, no matter what. Because it gives you an edge. It just opens up so many opportunities for you if you do go to college. But if you don't go, you still have opportunities, but you just have to try harder. You just have to try harder. So, needless to say, let's see. After Marcus got in elementary school, he ended up winning a spelling bee contest. Now that was very difficult because it was very challenging because a lot of people can spell, but a lot of people can't spell a lot of different words and very, very difficult words. So that was very difficult. And then they had another contest called Modern Woodmen of America. And it was a contest about speeches. You had to give a speech. So in my mind, all I could think of was MLK and Abraham Lincoln, you know, John F. Kennedy, anybody that had ever given a great speech, trust me, I had this kid dressed up looking like them, standing up, you know, and I'm the only person in the audience. It's either me or me and my mom or me and my sister or me and somebody in the family was there while he was practicing these speeches. Well, hey, he placed. He came in second place in that contest.
Wow.
And that was just a big deal. Now, in the meantime, I'm building his resume. I kept everything. I had every picture, every certificate. I'm building his resume because you never know what's coming up next, right? So let's see. So by the time he was ready to graduate from Washington Shores Elementary, he was the valedictorian of his class. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And he was the host for the entire graduation ceremony. I wish I had a video from
Wait, did you say elementary school?
Elementary school, and back then elementary was 5th grade. It was 1st grade to 5th grade. So in 5th grade, Marcus was the valedictorian. He had all A's on his report card, and they chose him because he was so outgoing. He's just like, I don't know how he got to be so much like me.
Hey there, family. It's your girl Angie BEE, and I'm excited to talk to you today about the Weekend of Love with Angie BEE and my hubby Barty. The weekend begins on January 21st, where we're going to get together and fast and pray and ask that the Lord open our minds and our hearts to be receptive to what He has to share with us during the weekend. Then on Friday the 22nd, we're all going to check into Seychelles Beach Club Resort, get our rooms ready, and maybe find some little treats in the room. We've got refreshments that will be ready for you on Friday the 22nd. And then Saturday the 23rd, we're going to have little round table discussions, not real workshops, just like round tables. We're going to get together and singles are going to share, married couples are going to share, Barty and I are going to share. It's just going to be so very, very special. We're going to have music, some fun on the beach, planning that, games. Barty's going to maybe sing a little bit for us. We're just going to have a retreat, a really fun time to share with each other. We're going to meet new friends. We're going to kind of discuss pros and cons of marriage. I mean, if you're living with somebody now and you're thinking marriage isn't going to work for you, or your parents were divorced and you don't want to go down that route, let's just see what the Lord has in store for us that weekend. Somebody may say something to you that'll change your mind. Then Sunday morning, we've got something very, very special planned, and we just don't want you to miss it. So go to Eventbrite to register. Find the page on Facebook to learn more and to see who our presenters are going to be. And if you have any questions, you can give us a call at 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519. Join us for a weekend of love with Angie BEE and Barty. We don't want you to miss it. It's going to be really, really special. Okay, be blessed. Hey, Barty.
Hey,
How's it going? Yeah, it's on.
All right.
It's on. What you want to tell us, dear?
Hey, hopefully everybody that can hear my voice will come January 22nd to the 24th to God, Me and You workshop.
Oh.
I'm going to be at Seychelles on the beach side, world's most famous beach.
Yep.
Me and my wife, the lovely Angie BEE.
Oh.
If you have any marital problems, well, we're going to tell our testimony on how we got together with God's love.
Because I didn't like you, you didn't like me.
Right, but we're not going to tell everything right now.
Not right now.
So hopefully see you there. Make sure you get your reservations in now. Sooner the better. And hope to see you there.
Thank you, honey.
That's right.
Which is why it's so important, parents, for you to realize that everything that you do while you're pregnant affects the life of your baby.
Everything.
Everything that you think, everything that comes out of your mouth, everything that you put into your mouth for
Everything you
nourishment.
listen to.
Yes, everything that you listen to and that you hear. Anything that you're exposed to that's dangerous, like smoke, like smoking. It all affects your baby.
Drinking, and the fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And so, mothers, when you decide that you want to become a mother.
No, when you decide you gon' act like you getting with a man, whether you think you gonna become a mother or not, when you think you gon' get with him, because anything could happen.
Yes, well, that is so true. We're going to get to birth control in one of these later shows. But my point is, once you make the decision that you're going to become a mother, you have got to think about that baby. Because you're going to be responsible for the life of that child for the rest of that child's life. And so in order for that child to be successful in life, in order for that child to be healthy and to have opportunities, they start with you doing everything that you can to make that child healthy. To make that child healthy and make that child whole. And of course that starts with Jesus. You always want to pray. I believe in saying the Lord's Prayer every day, no matter what. Just start saying the Lord's Prayer. Everybody knows the Lord's Prayer. Everybody knows the Lord's Prayer.
If they don't, we're going to put it here on the screen.
We're going to put it up on the screen and
So
we'll
they
be happy to teach it to you.
Yes,
It's a wonderful thing.
yes.
The storms of life are raging. Sometimes we have to be broken down so that we can be rebuilt into what we're actually meant to be. When the struggle to climb becomes just too heavy, and when God's voice becomes silent in your ear, just hold on, because a queen is about to emerge. The new book by the Queen Bee is entitled Last Week I Wanted to Die, published by True Soul Publishing, an umbrella for survivors. The revealing story of suicide, pain, and depression. The Queen Bee, Angie BEE, has emerged as a business owner, ministry leader, and a faithful child of God. This story is just the beginning. Last Week I Wanted to Die, on sale now at thequeenbee.com.